You know, from the deepest parts of the ocean to the absolute highest mountains, our planet is just teeming with life. It's incredible. We found life in bubbling hot springs, even deep inside the Earth's crust. But just how much life are we really talking about here? All right, let's get into it. So get this. Right now, scientists have identified and named somewhere around 1.8 million different species. And listen, that's just the stuff we know about. We're finding new organisms all the time. That number, it's just staggering. And it creates this massive challenge. I mean, with millions of unique life forms, how do you even start to talk about them, or study them, or figure out how they're all connected? How do you turn this gigantic, chaotic list of names into a map of life that actually makes sense? Well, that's the exact puzzle we're going to piece together in this explainer. Okay, so before you can group anything, you have to be able to name it, right? And for centuries, this was a huge problem. Because depending on where you lived in the world, the same exact animal or plant could have dozens of different local names. Just think about it for a second. A mountain lion, a puma, a cougar, a catamount. These are all different names for the exact same animal. You can just imagine the total confusion this would cause for scientists trying to share their work with people in other countries. So what we needed, absolutely needed, was a universal system. One single, standard name for every organism that everyone on Earth could agree on. And this solution? It came from this guy, a Swedish botanist named Carolus Linnaeus. He came up with this brilliant, elegant system called binomial nomenclature. It sounds fancy, but it's simple. Bi means two, nomen means name. It's a two-name system, and it's the one biologists everywhere still use today. And what's so great about this system is just how simple and effective the rules are. First off, all the names are in Latin, which is kind of like a neutral language for science, and you always write them in italics. Second, it's a two-part name. The first part is the broad genus, and the second part is the specific species. Third, the genus always gets a capital letter, but the species name is always lowercase. And finally, sometimes you'll see the abbreviated name of the scientist who first described it tacked on to the end. And here is a perfect example of the system in action. This is the scientific name for a mango. Mangifera, that's the genus, indica, that's the species. And that lin at the end, that tells us it was first named by Linnaeus himself. Simple, totally clear, and universal. No more confusion. But having a unique name is really just the beginning. It's kind of like having a house number. To really know where something is, you need the full address, right? The street, the city, the country. Well, biology has the same kind of system, a whole hierarchy of categories. So let's see how this cosmic address for life gets built, starting from the very bottom and working our way up. We're going to start at the most basic, most specific level there is, the species. A species is basically a group of individual organisms that share some really fundamental similarities and can, reproduce with each other. For us humans, our species name is Homo sapiens. Okay, one step up from that is the genus. A genus is simply a collection of very closely related species all bundled together. Our genus is Homo, so you can see how our full name, Homo sapiens, fits right into this structure. Here's another really great example. Take the genus Panthera. This group includes a bunch of big cats you've definitely heard of. The lion, which is Leo, the tiger, Tigris, and the leopard, Pardus. They're all different species, but you can see they've clearly got a lot in common. All right, stepping up the ladder again, we get to family. A family is a group of related genera. Now, as we keep climbing up this ladder, you're going to notice that the organisms in each group have fewer and fewer specific things in common. Our family, by the way, is Hominidae. Let's go back to our cat example for a second. The family Felidae, it includes the genus Panthera, that's our lions and tigers, but it also includes the genus Felis, which has our little domestic house cats. They're all in the same family, but a lion is obviously less similar to a house cat than it is to a tiger, right? Next up, we have the order. This is just a collection of similar families. For humans, we belong to the order Primata, which also includes monkeys, gorillas, and gibbons. Above the order, you have the class. This category groups together related orders. We're in the class Mammalia, which includes all mammals. So from primates like us, to carnivores like dogs and cats, to rodents like mice. What's the common thread? Well, things like having body hair and producing milk for young. Even broader than that is the phylum, or if you're talking about plants, they call it a division. A phylum groups together different classes that share really basic features in their body plan.
We belong to the phylum Chordata, which includes all animals that have something called a notochord, which for us turns into our backbone.
And finally, we reach the very top, the highest and broadest category of all, the kingdom. For us, that's kingdom Animalia. This separates us from all the plants in kingdom Plantae, and from fungi, bacteria, the whole shebang. It's the biggest, most general group in the whole hierarchy.
So, let's put it all together. This slide is really the big payoff. You can see the complete biological address for 4 totally different organisms. Just look at a human and a housefly. See? We're both in the kingdom Animalia, but our paths split off immediately after that. Now look at the mango and the wheat plant. They're both in the kingdom Plantae, but they diverge much further down the line. This is the whole system, beautifully mapping out the relationships between all known life.
So, okay, we've got this incredibly detailed system for naming and sorting everything. But why does it really matter? What's the point? Well, it's about so much more than just being organized. It's about understanding the entire story of life itself.
And this brings us to a bigger idea called systematics. This whole field of biology uses this classification system not just to put organisms in boxes, but to figure out their evolutionary relationships. That whole hierarchy we just walked through, it's not just a filing system, it's a map of a family tree that stretches back millions and millions of years.
And you know, understanding that deep, deep connection has had a huge impact on us. As the source material puts it so well, realizing that all living things today are related to each other and to every organism that has ever lived, well, that was a revelation. It humbled humanity, and it sparked a global push to conserve the amazing biodiversity of our planet. We're not just organizing a collection here, we're protecting our own extended family.
So, we all have a biological address on this planet. Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, all the way down to Homo sapiens. Knowing your own place in this vast, interconnected web of life really leaves us with one final question to think about. What does it mean to be a good neighbor to the 1.8 million other species we share this home with?